Good evening, Richmond County, and welcome to another edition of the RO Sports Show brought to you by Richmond Community College, local college, big impact. Now, spring sports are now in full swing at Richmond Senior High School. First up tonight, we'll be serving the Raider boys tennis team and their successful 2-0 start to the season. The Raiders finally got their spring slate started Monday after getting rained out twice last week. Third-year head coach Patrick Hope and the Raiders made the trip to 71st and picked up a season-opening win. Richmond defeated the Falcons, a program that is co-ed, and in its first season, 9-0 in the season opener. The Raiders went 6-0 in the singles matches before picking up wins in all three of the doubles contest. 5 of the 6 singles matches were straight set wins for Richmond, while the number 6 seed was a forfeit win. Richmond earned 1 doubles win in straight sets, while the other 2 were forfeit victories. In action once again for the second time in as many days, the Raiders hosted Purnell Sweat and defeated the Rams 6-3. Richmond would take the majority of match wins in the singles and doubles competitions. In singles, the Raiders won 4 of the 6 matches, seeing the number 3 through number 6 seeds earn an individual victory. 2 of the 3 doubles matches would go in Richmond's favor, as the number 2 and number 3 seeded duos picked up wins for the second day in a row. The Raiders will return to the court today and put their perfect record on the line against perennial powerhouse Pinecrest. Now, matches have already begun, but you can be sure to find the results on richmondobserver.com. 2 early goals and 2 more tallies late in the second half bookended the Lady Raiders soccer team's first win of the season on Friday. 4 days after drawing to a scoreless tie in the first game of the season, the Lady Raiders used 4 different goal scorers to edge Purnell Sweat 4-3 in their home and SAC opener. Sophomore Caitlin Huff and junior Jayla McDougall were responsible for Richmond's first half goals, while seniors Carly Lambeth and Avi Lucero tied and won the game respectively. Huff, who returns as the team's leading scorer with 12 goals last year, wasted no time putting Richmond on top. In the second minute, she sent a shot from the top of the box along the left edge over the hands of goalkeeper Selena Martinez to give Richmond a 1-goal advantage. The next day, the shots on goal were plentiful for the Lady Raiders, but Richmond managed to find the back of the net just 1 time. Playing in the Kicking It with the Crew tournament at Grays Creek High School, the Lady Raiders dropped their first match of the spring to the host Lady Bears 5-1. Richmond put 10 shots on frame, but only Huff scored for the Lady Raiders. She notched a team-high 4 shots against senior goalkeeper Emily Mullen, and McDougall added 3 shots on goal. Lambeth recorded 2 shots, and Lucero rounded out Richmond's attack with 1 tally on frame. Hoping to pick up a timely early season win against SAC powerhouse Pinecrest, the Lady Raiders came up short in the team's first meeting of the season on Tuesday. A close first half was undone in the final 40 minutes as Pinecrest handed Richmond a 9-0 loss. The Lady Raiders trailed by 2 goals at the break before allowing 7 second-half goals. Dating back to the start of the 2019 season, the Lady Raiders have suffered 3 straight regular season Mercy Rule losses to Pinecrest. Now, the Richmond defense was stout during the game's first 20 minutes, seeing junior goalkeeper Kelly Hoffman make several tough saves. She swatted the ball away on a header attempt in the 10th minute and followed that with 3 sliding saves on odd man rushes into the box. Richmond will look to return to the win column tonight when the Lady Raiders travel to conference foe Jack Britt. The game will be played in Fayetteville starting at 7 p.m. The Diamonds of Raider baseball and softball have seen their fair share of action this week. A football player has committed to play at a major North Carolina university, and Madison Jordan is the official Richmond County Female Athlete of the Week. We'll talk more about all of that, but first, a word from Richmond Community College.
Do you want a healthcare career? Certified medical assistants are multi-skilled healthcare professionals capable of completing administrative and clerical tasks, making them a valuable member of the healthcare team at medical clinics, doctors' offices, and other healthcare facilities. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the employment of medical assistants is projected to grow 23% over the next 8 years, much faster than the national average. At Richmond Community College, Our medical assisting students are trained in our cutting-edge Simulation Learning Center, giving them hands-on experience with high-fidelity mannequins that simulate real-life patient interaction. In addition to clinical skills, our students also receive instruction in scheduling appointments, coding, processing insurance accounts, billing, collections, and medical transcription. Complete the medical assisting program in just 2 years and start your lifelong career today. Visit www.richmondcc.edu to learn more about enrolling in the medical assisting program at Richmond Community College or call 910-410-1700.
The Lady Raiders softball team got its 2020 season off to a fast start on Wednesday, mercy ruling visiting Uwharrie Charter Academy in 5 innings. Using 7 extra base hits, including 5 doubles, a triple, and a home run, the Lady Raiders rolled past the Lady Eagles 13-3. Richmond used dominant starting pitching by junior Paige Ransom in her first high school start, and coupled that with a 4-run 3rd inning and a 6-run 4th inning to give first-year head coach Mike Way his first career win. Ransom pitched 4 innings, allowing just 3 hits, and struck out 2 batters to earn the win. She also secured the Mercy Rule win with a 2 RBI single to left field in the bottom of the 5th. The Lady Raiders earned another Mercy Rule victory on Monday, traveling across the Petey River to longtime foe Anson on Monday to make up a rainout from last week. The Lady Raiders rolled past the Lady Bearcats 15-2 in 5 innings. Richmond used the combination of a complete game from junior pitcher Kirsten Bruce, along with an offensive attack that saw the Lady Raiders plate 6 runs in back-to-back innings to secure the non-conference win. Richmond suffered its first loss of the season in its SAC opener the next night, but that's not deterring Coach Way. The Lady Raiders welcomed in Purnell Sweat and couldn't overcome an early deficit, falling 11-6. The loss made it the first time since April in 2012 that Richmond lost to Purnell Sweat. It was also just the program's second conference defeat dating back to April of 2016. The Lady Raiders have started their season 2-1 overall and 0-1 in SAC play. They'll now head to Pembroke on Friday to face the Lady Rams. First pitch is set for 7 p.m. An early deficit was too much for the Richmond Raider baseball team to overcome during Wednesday's non-conference game at Cape Fear. Richmond fell behind by 4 runs in the first inning, leading to an 8-3 loss for head coach Rob Ransom and the Raiders. Between 4 pitchers, Richmond walked 12 batters, and the defense committed 5 errors. The Raiders would score their first run in the top of the 3rd when sophomore Cameron Way reached first on a bunt single, plating fellow sophomore Alston Johnson, who started the inning with a base on balls. Richmond's final run came in the top of the 5th when senior Dallas Cowick scored on a wild pitch by Colts starter Peyton Hope. The early season struggles continued on Monday as the Raiders opened SAC play against Purnell Sweat. Hosting the Rams and looking for their first win of the spring, the Raiders would struggle offensively and fall by a final score of 10-0 in 6 innings. The story of the game belonged to Purnell Sweat starting left-handed pitcher Jeremiah Locklear, who threw a complete game and no-hit the Raiders. Coach Ransom noted his team didn't throw enough strikes in the loss and added the Raiders aren't stringing together enough quality innings at the plate. Richmond is now 0-3 overall and 0-1 in SAC play. They'll look to redeem themselves on Friday when they travel to Pembroke for the regular season series finale against the Rams. First pitch for that game is set for 7 p.m. Another Richmond Raider football player will be heading to play his college ball at an Atlantic Coast Conference program. On Tuesday morning, junior wide receiver Jacoby Baldwin took to Twitter to announce his verbal commitment to the Wolfpack of NC State University. The 6'1", 180-pound wide receiver joins fellow class of 2021 teammate Caleb Hood as the second Raider to commit to an ACC school. Hood committed in mid-January to the Tar Heels of UNC. Now, Baldwin became the Wolfpack's second class of 2021 verbal commit, and he chose the red and white over several other Division I offers. He also fielded scholarship offers from fellow ACC schools Duke and Wake Forest, as well as from App State, ECU, Akron, Coastal Carolina, UNC Charlotte, and Liberty. The relationship between Baldwin and the Wolfpack started this past summer before his junior campaign. Baldwin attended a camp at the school in June and was rated as one of the top wide receivers in attendance. Last month, during head coach Brian Till's State of the Program address, Baldwin was named to the Raider Leadership Council and will serve as one of the 12 members during his senior season. Richmond begins its spring practices in the coming weeks, and Baldwin will be among a strong senior class, guiding the Raiders to a hopeful state championship. Senior softball player Madison Jordan has been named the RO Sports official Richmond County Female Athlete of the Week, presented by Moss Brothers Tires and Service. The Richmond softball team was impacted by last week's rain and was only able to squeeze in one of its 3 scheduled games. Jordan and the Lady Raiders took advantage of the opportunity and routed URI Charter Academy by 10 runs in a Mercy Rule win. They followed up with another convincing win Monday, taking down Anson 15-2. A senior making the transition to a new position this spring, this is Jordan's first career selection.
So Madison, you and the Lady Raiders are off to a 2-0 start this season, and you really kind of played a big hand and a big bat in the 2 Mercy Rule wins over URI Charter and Anson. So let's get started there. Last week you had a double. You hit the team's first home run here at home against URI, and you had a team-high 4 RBIs in that game. So just kind of walk us through that home run over the left field wall and what's worked well for you early.
Well, for me, the pitcher that I was facing was slower than the first pitcher, so I knew if she gave me a fastball, I needed to take advantage of it because she did have a slow changeup that I was pretty sure would get me, sending back to the dugout. So whenever she pitched the fastball, I just knew that I had to take advantage of it. And I hit it, and I honestly thought it was going to be a fly out to left field, but to my surprise, it went over, so that's good.
So the team looks a little different, but you guys have earned 2 big wins, averaging 14 runs a game. So what's it been like, or what's been the key to the success so far?
We just have to get the momentum on our side and run with it. We need to play ahead from the beginning and stay ahead and just keep the momentum.
How are you adjusting to Coach Way's approach to the game?
His approach is different, but it's still a good one. He sees the little things as big things, which is really important because it takes little things to win big games.
Sure. And a big couple of games this week against Purnell Sweat, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But you're also making the change from left field, where you hit that home run the other night, to first base and also the right side of the infield. So just talk about that transition and how you're trying to help the team.
It's a different transition from left to first, definitely. I still, as of now, I get nervous when the ball is coming to me at first, and I don't know if that will ever go away.
Right.
But it's just, you're closer to the game, so you're seeing more action than left field. It's different, but there was still action in left field, just a different type of action.
I got you. So trying to keep up with the action, you guys are going for your 8th straight conference title, and you've been a part of 2 of them the last 2 years. So what's it going to take to win that 8th title and pick up a couple of quality wins against Purnell Sweat this week?
We're going to have to play as a team this week and the rest of the season. We need to play together and win together and keep our heads up through all of it. So far, we haven't had to play behind in a game, and if we do have to play behind, I hope we can just end up on top.
Sure. Now, Madison, we're going to transition over to our Lady Raider Rapid Response segment with some lighter questions. So do you think you're up for the challenge?
I am.
Okay. So let's start with, what color would you use to describe your personality and why?
I would use a bright color like a yellow. I think I'm pretty bubbly and bright. Maybe blue for bubbles.
Okay.
Bubbly.
Works for me. I know that you're near the top of your class, the graduating class. So where do you plan to go to school, and what do you hope to major in?
I'm planning to go to UNC Charlotte to major in nursing.
Okay. Are you excited?
Yes, I'm very excited.
And it's right around the corner.
I know, it's getting closer.
That's right. Next question for you. If you could inherit one superpower for the day, which would you choose, and how would you use it?
I've thought a lot about this, and I would like to read people's minds. I think that would be cool to know what people are thinking.
Yeah, I agree. Last question for you, Madison. Name someone who has served as a mentor to you, and list what about them has been beneficial.
Both my parents have been a good mentor to me throughout my childhood and even now. they keep me in check, which I definitely need, and they encourage me, motivate me, and everything in between. So I like to thank them.
All right.
And that's going to wrap up another edition of the RO Sports Show, brought to you by Richmond Community College. For the latest and breaking sports stories here in Richmond County, you can always visit richmondobserver.com and click on the Sports tab. You can also find some exclusive things across all of the RO Sports' social media. And of course, be sure to tune in for Ross at 5:30 every Thursday evening for your Raider wrap-up. In the meantime, I'm Matt Helson reporting from the Richmond studio in downtown Rockingham. Have a great week.